we started the year saying, like, yeah, I don't know if I see the Seahawks thing working because the defense how much can Russ really carry a football team? And I think the answer is not as much as people thought he could carry a football team. It's just, there's certain things that are successful but aren't sustainable. Right? Successful but not sustainable. It's Lamar Jackson was successful early on but not sustainable. I mean, you think of some of the things, it's no different than what happened. I mean, look, I don't know if we're going back into lockdown or not. The numbers are not good. And we have this thing where it's like, well, people are threatening lockdown. Like, that's not really what's happening. We're trying to figure out how we get out of this really tough situation, right? That's what we're trying to figure out. How do we get these numbers to kind of turn around for us? Can we figure out a way to get these numbers to turn around for us? And if some form of lockdown is what has to take place again, like, so be it. I mean, now we're seeing better prepared in sports. The NBA pulled off the bubble. College football and college basketball will be in their own bubbles with students going home. The NFL has made it work so far. I think they'll continue to find a way to make it work. So we'll have sports on TV. And if there's a lockdown 2.0, it'll feel better than lockdown 1. But it's like business will tell you, like, look, this is not sustainable. Yes, restaurants like, man, everybody I know is ordering out and really trying to help local restaurants out. But like at some point, you can't order out every night. You got to cook at home. Restaurants got to figure out, do I take PPP and take the money? Or, like the model of what we did last time was not sustainable long term. That's why people wanted to open back up. When we open back up, that's not sustainable because too many people are getting sick, right? It's not just short term, but long term. Well, long term in an NFL season. An NFL season is 16 games in 17 weeks, but it is long. And the Seattle Seahawks are now 6-3 on the year. And the final score was not a thumping, but it felt like a thumping watching it. It did not feel like the Seahawks ever really had a feel for how are we going to be able to get Russell Wilson in that situation he's seemingly always in, driving with the football late in a close game. I mean, when we really look at it, the Cowboy game was very close. That was back when Dak was playing. The Patriots had the ball at the 1-yard line, a chance to beat them. They beat the Vikings by 1 point. Like, these were the wins they had. Granted, lost a close game to the Cardinals. Russ threw 3 picks. Lost to the Bills, gave up 44 points, and then just lost to the Rams. I think like all this stuff we should have seen coming. And we can point to Russell Wilson, but his team has scored more points than anybody in the division. It's the 266 points that they have allowed. Think about this. The Rams have allowed 168 points in the season. The Seahawks have allowed 266. Same number of games. So 9 games, you do the math, that's nearly 30 points a game. Can you win a game this way? Sure. Can you upset a team? Absolutely. And should we factor in that they've had injuries at running back again, second straight year? By all means. It would be unfair otherwise. But, big but. But. I look at this thing and I'm telling you, we told you it wasn't sustainable at the time. We cannot take what they did early in the season as who they are. Once you get around to November and into December, that's who you are as a football team. And, if you have a cornerback who can shut down DK Metcalf, if you can pressure them with 4 because their offensive line isn't great, they're not really going to run the football. That's what the Rams did. There was no special. Ramos can tell you, he watched the whole game. It wasn't like they were sending guys at him. They had Aaron Donald, and they just got home at times and flustered him. And he was seeing ghosts. And now he's trying to force things. And that's why he's gone from a guy who was the leader in the MVP clubhouse to 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, second in the NFL in interceptions, despite only having one through the first, through the first 5 weeks of the season. Now he's second in the NFL with 8 interceptions. It wasn't a sustainable style. I don't like calling it super, super early. And there were some things yesterday that, Justin Herbert got confused through a pick in which the Dolphins did a great job of kind of confusing his looks and muddying his coverage. Whereas I felt like Tua had a little bit better feel for where he wanted to go and a little bit more simplified of a game plan, or maybe just more precise of a game plan. So I watched Tua. We mentioned Chargers-Dolphins was, without any question, that was uniform porn, man. That was so good. So good. And once again, the interception loomed large for the Chargers, who lost, I guess, within one score. Technically, it was 8 points, whatever. But without their running game, they don't have their top 3 running backs. They don't have 4 offensive linemen. They did have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Hunter Henry. But without the being able to run the football, they lost to the Miami Dolphins. I still think Herbert is a tractor. I do, a tractor. I think Tua is a bit of a trailer. Now, he could be a really, really nice trailer. I get some friends that make Turnbow trailers in Oklahoma. That's actually the name of the company. Beautiful trailers. And there's a plan, kind of feels like it's in place, which is a little bit like what the Seahawks did with Russell Wilson early in his career before he became a tractor. And maybe that's the evolution. Maybe we'll see it at some point. At some point, we'll see it from Tua. Keep it in mind that, in the first season, he was the starter. Russell Wilson threw 9 times, threw for less than 200 yards. And that was Tua yesterday, as he only threw for, what was it, like $169, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's efficient. He's solid. He makes the right reads. He's just not really an explosive thrower of the football. Right? Their special teams had a block punt. Oh, the Chargers. Find another way to lose the game. Right? Just find another way. They can. It's kind of amazing. And Ty Long kind of dropped the football, kind of slipped out of his hands, and then he punts it and it gets blocked, and that's a touchdown. So I like Tua, but this isn't about likes or dislikes. I think he's smart. I think he's solid. I think he's athletic enough. He's got a good enough arm. He's really, really accurate. He's smart enough. But a tractor does not that make him make, right? Isn't that how we do? Make? Feel like he's more of a trailer. Again, I'll reserve the right to change my opinion, but that's what it feels like so far. The first week it was no wow plays. The second week was solid. The third week was, he's really precise. He's getting better. He's growing on me. But I'm looking for that it, and maybe there's too much of it with Justin Herbert, right? He's still a turnover guy. You look at what's happened with Daniel Jones, who this week played really well. He's had some turnover. Maybe the guys that go for it and have those explosive plays are guys that are going to turn you over and hurt you early in their career. But there should be some more upside later in their career. I don't know if he has that.